Poy, anong year ka na?
Actually, sir, 4th year pa lang ako eh.
Hindi na!
Yeah, oo.
Seryoso ba yan?
I'm taking up my last year's lesson. Joke lang, sir. Joke lang, sir. Yes.
Kasi naniniwala ako talaga eh. Pwede naman, papasya naman.
Thank you so much.
Okay, so if earlier we had the point of view of students who went through their own journey, right now we will have the point of view na medyo iba rin naman. We have someone who's still going through finding his ex, or maybe you found it already, I don't know. And then at the same time, we also have our main sponsors who are here to really talk about why finding your ex is important and how they're all supporting all of everybody's needs here, and why finding your ex is important to them. Okay? So, first, if the two of them already found their ex, have you found yours? Have you found your bag?
So again, for the people who don't know me, I'll reintroduce myself. My name is Sedin. I'm a third-year IT student. Same as Miss Odin. Yeah, third-year IT student in the University of Asia Pacific. And I'd like to say that because of this student ambassador program, I have found my ex per se. We have to take it. Okay, so you guys want to hear like a little bit of storytelling? So let's just rewind a little bit back into the semester. So I was able to become an executive officer of our IT organization, UANP, which is how we were able to partner with WP, Converge, CCE, shout out the big three, for real. And because of that, they kind of chose me to start hosting even, actually guys, that. Yeah. So they actually wanted me to host events in UANP. So my very first hosting gig was probably the General Assembly. So it was actually similar in terms of square meter, the size of this entire room. And where's Miss Odin? Is she still here? Pero what she said, there. It's the same thing that she said. Usually you think a General Assembly would take place in a, big stage. And then your knees are shaking kasi my, how do you say this? Stage fright. But no, we hosted it in an intimate room. It was actually a Korean chicken restaurant because I used to eat there a lot. And I just figured out, it's really a compact area, so why not just make it intimate? Like, there should be no difference between you and I if we're all students, right? I mean, except for the professors, pero ibang usapan na yan. But again, we're all students, so like, let's just stay on the same ground, let's all talk to each other. And because of that, of course, I had stage fright at first, but I fell in love with hosting. And I felt like hosting in combination with events management, I think that's the X that I started to hone even more, and probably even until now. Because I actually respect what Sir Poy does, what Miss Odin does, what Mr. Ivan over there, and like all of the other shoutcasters in the room, because they're quick with their words. It's something that I'm still struggling with, especially if I need to ad-lib for different types of scenarios. But hosting is not easy. That's something that I learned along the way. But the more that you step out of that comfort zone and then you talk to even more people, you tend to realize that, hey, it's actually not that bad. So going back, if I found my ex, I think I realized okay, pause. No, but again, I think putting it in the virtue standpoint, it's not just about hosting or events management. It's actually having the courage to actually hone what you want. Because I actually got to like meet a few people here. For example, see Yuna over there. Everybody say hi, Yuna. So she's in AB Communications. So I thought she was actually like someone who wants to go all the way with it. But then she also talked to me about how she does ballet on the side. So same thing with Miss Odin, right? Like she took IT, but all of a sudden she took that big jump into shoutcasting. So what I'm trying to say is, when people try to find their ex, it's really hard sa una. Why? Because we're scared to be a little bit weird. We're scared to be ourselves. And diba, minsan sinasabi ng mga tao, uy, pre, grabe naman, napaka-cringe mo. That's okay! There's nothing wrong with being a little bit cringe. But at the same time, you need to be respectful to people then. Ang sabi ni Miss Odin na you can't be too oversharing, you can't be too over-trusting, you can't be too overbearing in your personality. Kaya, chill ka lang muna, you can be a little bit weird within yourself, but if you start honing that weirdness within yourself, and you turn that weirdness into something that you can make a career out of. And for me, probably in the future, maybe hosting, maybe I'll go all the way in IT, but one thing's for certain, I never gave up being weird. So that's my answer.
And, you lost me with everything. It was a lot, but one thing stood out to me, and it doesn't even have anything to do with what you just said. I was with Rome and the batch of students that went to Thailand last November. Raise your hand if you went to Thailand. Siya lang ang nag-add sa akin. And it's not a negative thing to everyone else. What I'm saying is, he had the guts, he had the courage, he talked about courage, he had the courage to try and see if there's anything that can happen with a new connection. Right? I know there was one Atenean there. Who was that? Atenista rin ako eh. But what I'm saying is, it takes a lot of courage for a student to actually go up to someone already in the workforce, a professional, and say, "Hi sir, my name is Rome, I'd like to introduce myself." He did exactly that in Thailand. And then just recently, he added me on Facebook. Di ko in-accept yung Facebook, pero in-accept ko yung LinkedIn. He added me on LinkedIn. Right? And that is something that I also want all the students here to realize. Networking starts this early. Networking starts this early. It starts when you're young. Because as you grow older, you never know when the people beside you will be worth something for you guys. Right? Thank you. Okay? So, I would like to applaud you for that courage because it really takes a lot of courage to continue being here, right?
If I can add one more thing, the reason why. So, are you guys actually familiar with what Sir Ralph does? He's at level 100. So, for the people who don't know, he essentially gives content creators their own platform. Because why waste a lot of effort, time, and money in marketing your website? Which is why influencers are already there. They already have their own brand, they already have their own marketing scheme. Sila na bahala dun. What Sir Ralph does, he just gives them a little leg up and gives them a platform to share it on. Kaya, the reason why, again, going back to courage, is that you have all of these creators who already have that courage to present themselves out into the real world. And what Sir Ralph's offer is, I'll give you a website for you to do your own marketing on so that you can sell your own in-game currency. And ikaw na bahala sa marketing. All I'm going to take care of is your back end. So with those worlds combined with them doing their own marketing and Sir Ralph helping out with the website, both sides win. Both sides earn, and both sides still remain, proper partners.
Thank you for plugging what I do. Let's take the word courage again and then move on to Poy for Converge. It takes a lot of courage for a telco to focus on passion points. Because generally, how people will view telcos is it's a utility. Diba? Kailangan ko ng internet, so apply ako. Rarely do people think, okay, my passions are enabled by a telco, by internet. So, can you run me through why Converge is approaching things this way? Why are you supporting all of these students?
Ayun. Actually, ready yun sa utak ko yun, ano yung passion ko.
Pwede ka mag-start with that.
Yes. Actually, it's just very simple. When Sandra and Miss Orange, I would like to acknowledge our marketing head, Miss Orange. Please, round of applause, Miss Orange, for helping us support this cause. So I actually found my passion is that helping and supercharging mga students that are in need. For example, Pearl. Saan si Pearl? Pearl, yun. It actually was solidified on this episode, which was episode 4 tayo, when I saw her current setup compared to the after and how it really helped her as a student. Really increase her productivity, increase everything so that she can do unlock potential. And going back to your question, I believe one of the reasons why Converge is doing this is we want to tap the students, the youth, for unlocking their potential, especially for people who deserves it. So, for example, eto, Pearl is a model student, a DOST scholar. She is also top student, but of course, when I saw her set up, she was sitting on a small table, a chair so small that it would hurt your back. So that's
conducive.
Not conducive for anything. And plus, her laptop is not good for any, for example, gagawa ng projects, video editing, or her doing the things she would like. So Converge is here, the game changer is here, Super Fiber X is here to help them achieve and unlock their X in life. So parang naging ano na kami, avenue. So that's Converge.
I love how you frame that, because suddenly connectivity is not a luxury. It's now foundational. Students need it to actually unlock their full potential.
Exactly, that's it.
Like, who here would say that their life will be incomplete kung walang internet? I think everybody would say that, right? And I think that's also something that we should all stop taking for granted. Connectivity is foundational. It should be treated like water and electricity. Right? Diba? Anong pipiliin mo? Hindi ka maliligo? Wala kang kuryente, wala kang internet. Suddenly, ang hirap. Diba?
Yes.
Dati kasi ang choice lang doon, tubig o kuryente. Ngayon, if idagdag mo yung internet, it makes that choice even harder. Which is more important, to have information at your fingertips, water wetting your fingertips, or the ability to see your fingertips kapag gawin, right? So, I think that's the main thrust that Converge is also trying to bring out. Okay. If we now talk about the types of students, because earlier we were focusing on gaming, and Rome actually didn't touch on gaming. He touched on hosting. He touched on event organizing. What do you think are skills, talking from a student point of view, what do you think are skills that are being taught outside of classes, outside of school, that should be important for everybody to learn?
Okay, that's actually a really good question. Well, probably could be something that I learned from being a student ambassador.
Yeah.
Right. Well, actually, let's combine that. Let's talk about extracurricular organizations first. So, is anyone, I mean, for sure, okay, raise up hands, university students, raise up hands, and keep your hands up if you're in a org. Okay, great. There's a lot of things that you can learn from being in an org, because there's multiple departments. You have logistics, people responsible for, the manpower. You have marketing, people who are responsible for being creative to promote the org. You also have, what else is there? Finance, right, you have finance. It's really important to have funds to make sure that event actually goes through. And then you also have human resources. You need to make sure that your members are at tip-top shape. If there's something that I've learned from being in an org, this doesn't just apply to like one org, it's like all of them. I was able to enter a multitude of departments. I started off with marketing first actually, because I had my camera. You probably saw me taking pictures around the event. So I learned marketing first because I realized that I actually like taking pictures of people more, because who's gonna take a picture of you and post it on the internet, diba? So that's one. I want people to be seen. That's why marketing is important. Second is finance. I realize it's really difficult to come up with money, especially with events. Sure, the school can give you a budget, but then you're also going to need to step out and try to ask people for help, sponsorships. So that's also one thing. You need to put yourself out there. And then you also have logistics. Are you sure that you have all of the people that you need to help you actually have that event from going on? Let's talk about Campus Playfest. I'm pretty sure you needed a lot of people to make that possible, diba? And lastly is human resources. You want to make sure that your people are in check. You need to have them to do everything that they need to do. Now, I've been talking about those 4 different departments, but what I've learned in being in all of those is to actually love what you're doing. There is no sense in doing an action if there's no love behind it. Kaya you're to think na, for example, you're elected to be a leader of an organization, right? So for example, I'm probably going to be the one to take over the IT org in UANP. I won't do it out of the CV. I won't do it just for the sake of LinkedIn. You need to do everything here on this very earth out of love. Who knows, the same love that Converge is giving to its people, diba? That's why you also have this thing called I learned this in Introduction to People Development. It's called corporate social responsibility. And I think that's something that Converge actually has because it's giving back to the community. As Sir Poy said, in the cases of other students, they have so much potential. So many people, so many kids here in the Philippines have so much potential, but they don't have that leg up to get into that real world to actually share what they have to offer. So that's why with Converge, I'm actually really grateful for this opportunity that you were able to help out not only me, but the other student ambassadors and many, many more in the future. Because you're going to do something out of love. And that's what I think is something that I learned outside of academics, is learning how to love what you do.
You know, one thing I absolutely love about having student ambassadors is you don't even have to try too hard. They really promote you guys for you, no? So it's so nice. So, Poy, looking at the types of ambassadors that we got, they don't fit a single mold, right? They are from varied passion points.
Yes, exactly. Actually, the Chosen X comes from really different background, which offers like a different kinds of taste, different kinds of personality, but all blended perfectly together.
So, given all of those, like they don't fit in a single box anymore. There are different types of personas that you're going after, and you're trying to cater to all their needs. And this is also going to be like the last question because we're also running late now. How do you see the future of student empowerment? Like, we started with gaming. Converge got their feet wet at the start. Now you're all in for gaming. You have Game Changer. Now you have all of those other passion points. How do you see the future playing out for students? And what is Converge's role in that future?
I mean, like, it's a very basic need of every student to have connectivity. So before gaming starts, they need to prioritize school. So that's why Converge offers ito, shameless plug. Of course, Converge is the fastest internet in the entire Philippines. So of course, Flexinger Plus was best in gaming experience. So by Converge, we would like to provide them quality service internet for them to actually do productivity well, do everything gaming, bonding with friends, parang lata. So for the gaming side, we want to promote as well for the casual gamers, students who compete as well. So parang ganyan, it's parang in a nutshell, it's all about the connectivity and providing them the best quality service offered by Converge.
Final question to you, Emmanuel. What do you think is the future of student empowerment, and how do you see the brand's roles coming into that whole ecosystem?
Going back to what I said about how there's a lot of youth in the Philippines that have that untapped potential. Talking about the future of
Student empowerment.
student empowerment. with brands, especially Converge, when it comes to student empowerment, it all begins in the home. We've seen how the battle station raids have turned out, from what having an old PC setup was to what it became later on with the help of our lovely, lovely hosts. Most importantly, it's the fact that brands are willing to give students a chance. Because who else is going to do it aside from that brand? Kaya it's really important to have that sense of virtue and social and civic responsibility to take care not only of yourself and your family, but if you also have a little bit on the side, you can take care of the people around you. That's why Converge not only cares about its business and its role in, leading the internet fastest speed, as Poy said, but it's also about building a community of every single individual Filipino here in this country. Why? Because again, what's the purpose of the internet? It's to unite people. The post-Gutenberg revolution. Oh, Gutenberg's the guy who made the printing press, by the way. The post-Gutenberg era is all about mass-producing information that was eventually shared because of the rise of the internet, right? And honestly, in terms of utility, as Sir Ralph said, water, electricity, and one more thing, that's going to be internet. Why? Because it's important for every single Filipino to be connected together. And with that, the future of student empowerment begins in the home, when brands decide to give you, the very Filipino youth, a chance to represent yourself into the real world.
I don't think I can say anything else after that. So I shall wrap it up and just remind everybody to find your ex. If you have not found it yet, that's okay. Because it's a journey anyway, right? You'll get there. And just remember, look for mentors. And just remember to keep at it with your studies, okay? All play and no studies. It's not good. So just remember, you are students first before you're any kind of a master. Right? So we'll turn you over to the hosts again. Thank you, Poy. Thank you, Ron.